or welcome for the new ones, to Creativity with Chloe. Happy holidays, because I didn't get to say that last time in my last video. As you can see, I have a tree here. It's tiny, but it really fits the whole atmosphere in this room, so I really enjoy it, and I hope you do too. Please tell me down below in the comments how your Christmas was and how you spent it. Or if you even celebrate Christmas, what other traditions do you have in your family? Let's get started. If you checked my last video, you would know I talked a bit about my experience flying alone for the first time, but I feel like it wasn't as clear or detailed, so this is a more detailed version of what happened in that flight and everything that was going on. I just wanted to note that I took Jetblue for my flight, and I am in Massachusetts, so it will be a bit different from other people's experiences, so definitely do not think that it's exactly how this is going to happen for your first flight. I also wrote down some notes here in my notebook so I could be very clear and know exactly what happened and show you guys. So let's see. The first thing I did was wake up very early in the morning. When I say very early, I mean very early. So I was tired. I already had my clothes for that day prepared, as well as everything else, so I wasn't too worried about, not being prepared. I dressed very warm because it's cold where I am, so I thought I was going to freeze out there. It's really cold. And then I made sure to eat so I wouldn't be hungry when I went on the plane. I know they serve snacks on the plane, and most of them are pretty good, but you don't want to rely just on those snacks because there is a limited amount that you can have. So I made sure to eat so I wasn't too hungry. Then my parents and we packed my suitcases into the car, and we went on our way to the airport. We arrived there an hour early, which is super important, as they had shown us in an email sent by them. And then we waited for a while, just, in the car, I guess, until we entered, and there was a special spot for us to go to. I want to talk a bit about that, because this is where I received this. Let me put it on so I can show you guys. It has all my information in it on one side, and then here is what it says on the other side. It says PBI, and it even has this junior crew, which means I'm pretty special. Yeah, I'm very special, It was great. It was this section for the handicapped and people who were going on the plane by themselves, so that, there was special attention given to them. Then my mom and we sat down for a while until we could board the plane. I say my mom and because she had to wait with me until I was able to board the plane. We then passed through security. I said in my last video that I tried to say that in my last video, that I passed through security, but it wasn't as clear. So that's what I meant for those who were watching. We passed through security, which means I took everything that I was carrying off of me, and they checked it, made sure there was nothing in there, and then we went and waited for me to board the plane. Then, this is my favorite part, I finally boarded the plane, and it felt amazing. It is a bit scary at first because you're alone, you're not with your parents, so it does feel a little bit scary, but it was super fun. Okay, if you want more details about that, you can check out my last video because I'm not going to talk too much about it. But let's talk about my returning flight. This means from Florida back to Boston. So this one was a lot of fun. We arrived there and it was still the exact same time as I had told you before. You always arrive an hour early. 2 hours earlier. And then we went and boarded the plane. Like I said, there was an adult that was there with me until I boarded that plane. And then I boarded the plane and I sat in the back. You usually always sit in the back. I don't know if it's like that, if it's different for other airlines, but for me, I sat in the back, which means it was closer to the flight attendants, and I was closer to the bathroom too, so that was great. I sat next to another person, which it was an interesting ride being next to somebody else. I spent most of the time watching TV. They had like this TV that I could watch because it was 3 hours and I was not going to sit there for 3 hours just looking out the window, but the view was beautiful. I watched some TV, I read my books, I drew a bit. It was just a really fun ride. Then we landed and it was so bumpy. It's always a little bumpy when you're landing, and I felt like my stomach was gonna like turn over, and I was getting punched in there, I'm telling you. After that bumpy landing that I was telling you about, I waited for everyone to get off of the plane, and then I was guided off by the flight attendant, and we entered the building where my mom and dad were waiting for us, and it was just really, really fun. Because when I say really fun, I mean it's because there's just that excitement that comes when you're just exiting off the plane and waiting for your parents to arrive. And it was like a huge crowd where everybody was just waiting to pick up others. And then my mom came and they brought me to my mother. And my mom just signed like a quick document. And then I was free to go. And I definitely got to eat some food because I was starving after doing that 3 hours on the plane. Then we got into the car and we drove home. And it's not too far from the airport, but it was great. I was just super happy to finally be home and be with my family, and it was great. Great. So this experience taught me a lot, I think. It taught me responsibility, about making sure that everything I had was with me and being careful, especially since I was next to other people. But, luckily I was with the flight attendant, so I wasn't too worried. It also taught me to respect pretty much my elders, which means the flight attendants that were with me, I had to listen to everything they were saying because my parents entrusted me with them. So it also meant that I had to pay attention because sometimes people forget and lose stuff on the plane. So I had to be careful and make sure, do I have this with me? Did I forget this? Did I forget that? Just make sure I had everything with me. I think it was a great journey, and it taught me a lot. It was a very great experience, and I think others will really enjoy it. So maybe one day you can talk to your parents about them letting you go and fly alone. It's a great experience and it teaches you a lot. It's a lot of fun. So that's great. Thank you for watching this video. I hoped you enjoyed it as much as I did. Please be sure to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell, and also share your experiences in the comment below. Literally, when I say this, do not forget to share it with your friends. Share it with everyone you know if you want to. I just really hope that you learned a lot from this and that you were able to have as much fun as I did. Thank you, I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye!